I like to think of myself as a pretty independent person, but living alone or even when your roommates are on vacation can bring serene alone time or unforeseen challenges. And I'm not talking like, I just made the mistake of watching When a Stranger Calls Home Alone and I will never sleep again kind of challenges. So today, I'm bringing you 4 things to help you survive living single in a single kind of world. I'm glad I got Hannah. Sometimes you want to just chill out with a book and a glass of wine all by your lonesome, but you're living single here and you're not trying to have a, ooh, I drank a whole bottle of wine by myself kind of night. We've got some hacks to save that leftover. Now listen, I'm a millennial, so you know I love a mason jar. So after you've had, I don't know, a glass or 2, you can pour the rest of it into a mason jar. Now you know I'm here for a mess, so if you overflow, it's actually a good thing. You want the least amount of air bubbles in here as possible. Air means bad, means your wine's gonna go bad, which is not cool. Seal it tight. No air bubbles in sight. I'll save this for later. Say you've got a bottle of wine that's starting to go bad. All you have to do is take a clean copper penny, drop it in your wine. Oh, it went in. It was like stuck in the middle, okay? Drop it in your wine and swirl it around. To break down the science of this, wine that is starting to go bad releases a chemical called thiols, and the copper in the penny counteracts the thiols, so it keeps your wine fresher for longer. But make sure that your penny is made before 1982, because most of the new pennies are primarily zinc. Yes. And finally, maybe you're in for a night by yourself. Maybe you need a condom. A wine condom, that is. The owners of this company are well in on the joke, so it comes in this cute little gold wrapper. All you do is open it up, stretch it out. Thick one. Roll it over your wine to keep it from going bad. This makes me look like I failed sex ed, you guys. There we go. We like to keep our wine fresh and practice safe drinking here at Spoon. Cooking for yourself may seem like a task. Do I really want to spend an hour making a meal for one and I'm just gonna eat by myself in front of the TV, probably watching the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race? The answer may seem like no, but trust me, it's way easier to sashay away on more than just carrots. So we're gonna make lasagna in a mason jar. You're gonna take a mason jar, and with the top, cut out little rounds from your lasagna noodles. Just press it. We're doing it. We're making a meal for one. Just for myself, just for me. You should be able to get about 2 little circles for each lasagna noodle. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just put these aside for now. I'm going to take some ricotta cheese and mix in some pesto. Yum, yum, yum. Mix that all together. It reminds me of my grandma's cooking. Much better than mine. Okay, should be mixed like that. Put it to the side. I'm gonna take my tomato sauce and add some spices to it. So actual garlic, pepper, got some garlic salt, oregano, celery salt. One of these is celery salt. I'm not sure which, but just put them all in because it's all gonna taste great. You can use whatever spices you guys can find in your cabinet. Get creative. Once you've done that, you can put that aside. I'm going to rip up some chicken tenders that we made earlier. It's pretty self-explanatory, ripping up chicken. You could cut these with a knife if you want, but I'm resourceful. I don't need anybody else but myself, and sometimes my mom. And now, don't forget about your zucchini, because health. We're going to layer this up in our mason jar. Now you wanna make sure that your mason jar is oven friendly, because sometimes they're not, and they break, and that would be very depressing. I'm gonna start with some sauce. Just dump it on in. Take a noodle, plop it in. Ricotta cheese, chickens, zucchini, and more sauce. And you're gonna repeat this a couple more times. Depending on the size of your mason jar, you should be able to do it like 2, maybe 3 times in here. This is great that it's in a mason jar because it's pretty contained, which means I won't have to clean that much up on myself. I'm gonna top this off with one last noodle and a little bit of sauce and some Parmesan cheese for an extra little crunch. Once it's all done, you're gonna stick it in a tray and pour in a cup of water. And the water is to keep the glass from heating up too quickly. Before you put your mason jar in your tray, you're gonna wanna make sure that it's at room temperature, otherwise it could crack would be very sad and depressing after all of our hard work. And make sure you cover it with some tin foil, like that. Put this in the oven at 325 degrees for 30 minutes. It's ready. Be careful because this is gonna be super hot. Take the foil off, top it off with some basil, pour yourself a glass of wine. Duh. Okay, that's good for now. You, my friends, are in for a perfect meal for one. That's good. When I'm grocery shopping for one, I always end up with way more produce than I need. I mean, heads of lettuce are huge, and I'm not a family of 4. I got myself this container. I like it because it's under 20 bucks, and it keeps all of my produce nice and fresh. This one's really good because it keeps all of the moisture away, so my produce stays fresher longer. Salads for days. There have definitely been times when I'm by myself, I want a snack, and I can't get the salsa open. Well, guess I'm never gonna have salsa again. So I did a Google search for jar openers for people with weak hands, and this is what came up. It comes with all different notch sizes, so you can open up any jar you've got in your house. Now you don't have to call your roommates in and be like, hey, let's pass this jar back and forth a million times until one of us can get it open. Ta-da! And for when you're making something a little more complicated and you need the recipe in front of you on your iPad, I got this cool spoon and stylus in one. If you've ever watched the show, you know that I never make a mess. But let's say I was that kind of person, you know? Up at the kitchen, baking a souffle, just spilling crap everywhere. I don't want to use my dirty hands to scroll through my iPad for the next instruction, so I can just flip this spoon over and use the stylus and scroll down for the next step. My iPad stays clean, my bake is perfectly made. Who knew being alone could be so damn swell? There are some movies that are just better when you have somebody to turn to and say, did that just happen? But for those times when you want to watch a movie alone but you don't want to feel like you're alone, there's Gaze. You can send a Gaze link to your best friend, and basically you can screen share your browser while video chatting. So as soon as your video starts, theirs does too, so you can watch together from anywhere in the world. And for those times when you want to get out and see a movie by yourself, but you're afraid you're gonna have to go pee in the middle of it and no one's gonna be able to tell you what happened, there's Rempe. It's this app that lets you choose the movie that you're seeing, and then it will give you a little notification of when you can run out and pee, like during that dumb, boring bicycling montage. As soon as you come back, it gives you a little synopsis of everything that you missed. So go ahead, drink as much cherry cola as you want. The internet has your back. I'm an independent woman, but if you all have some tricks on living alone besides Life Alert, please leave them in the comments below. You're the only one who really gets me, chorizo. Subscribe, please.